Okay, so we will be recording this part of the session. If anybody has any questions, please, if anybody, I'm sorry, if anybody has any objections with the recording, then please say so. This is my Bat Family SA cup. We made this logo when we went to Comic-Con, and this is our Bat Family. We're all dressed in Batman suits. This is my daughter when she was very, very little. She was probably had about 1 year old, and we're all dressed in Batman suits. We're gonna have a little Robin coming along in a few months. So the family, the Bat Family is extended. It's gonna be extended. Okay, my daughter was grabbing the Cheetos, and you know that can be extremely dangerous for the furniture. Okay, but let's get back to it. Okay, so what have we learned so far, or what have we gone through so far? So we know how to create a database. We've seen how to create a form to be able to input data. We have created queries to be able to either select information to show or add, to update a record or to be able to delete a record. So we've seen how to see queries. And now what we're going to see is how we can do a report. Now, what is a report? Basically, a report is going to be similar to the form. A form is something that interacts with the user to be able to input information, data. In the case of a report, it's going to be interact with the user. It's going to present certain information to the user. And that information obviously is for the user to do whatever they want with it. It's going to be for decision making. We can also print out these reports. It's going to be how we generate information that we're going to be presenting. Okay. And so to do that, we're going to go over here to create. We're going to create a blank report. This is a blank report. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to make this comment here, briefly a comment, and it's going to be recorded. I've uploaded my videos to YouTube. So I created a YouTube channel and I put the videos up there. And, you know, I have allergies. I don't know how many of you have allergies, just react. So I know some of you do. Allergies are really, really bad. So I have allergies. So if you notice, sometimes I cough or sometimes I do this. That's because I've got allergies, right? So I uploaded a video to YouTube, and if the person who made the comment listens to this, this is for this person. I uploaded a video to YouTube. So usually people don't make comments on my videos. A couple of students do. But I uploaded a video, and suddenly I got a comment from somebody who apparently erased the comment that said VOM WTF 038 in the video. I'm not that well versed in abbreviations, so I only know LOL. I know WTF. I know what that means. I didn't know what VOM meant, and I googled it, and it means vomit. Apparently, so it said vomit WTF 038. So I'm like, what's happened? So I'm looking at the video, and in the video I'm explaining something, and I literally do this. Well, now we're going to do this, and that. Okay, and so I kind of do that. So the person at that moment said that VOM WTF, like, well, I'm sorry, I have allergies. Okay, I have allergies, and sometimes I get congested, and I do this. So apologies to that person who apparently didn't like that. And if you're seeing this, I'm open to speaking. Okay. Curiously enough, the comment appeared and then it got erased. I don't even know who the person. I don't even know who the person was. Diles qué es lo que quieres.
Cheto.
No, no te ven en la pantalla.
Cheto. Cheto. Soy la Ana de los chetos.
Okay, give me a moment. I'm just gonna put some Cheetos here into the bowl. Okay, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, Cheetos. That's how you win. That's how you win, little kids. Okay, so let's get back to it. So I'm gonna actually do this again because I drifted off doing other stuff. There's a question here in the chat, I think. No. Oh, I'm sorry. I think somebody raised their hand. Carmina,
No, I got a mistake. I wanted to, I wanted to react.
Okay, no, don't worry, don't worry. Okay, so I'm gonna do this again. So we're gonna go to create, and then we're gonna create a blank report here. And so remember, every time we open something for the first time, a report of form, a query, a table, by default, it's going to show us the view that has to do with the sort of presentation view, the data sheet view, the form view, the report view. This is how things are going to look. That's the default view, remember. But to work on this, remember that we go to the design view. We're always going to go to the design view, okay? And so we've got the design view here, and this is very similar. It's very similar to the form. So we're basically going to create here whatever we want to present to the user. And again, I'm going to be very, plain in the way I'm going to do the form. I'm going to let it up to your creativity, how you're going to make things pretty in your final project and whatever, and in the lab exercises. But I'm going to be plain just to show the functionality. So this is the design view. We can have the report be, for example, portrait or landscape or in columns, depending on how we want to structure it. I'm going to leave it normal in portrait. I'm going to go over here to design. Okay. And first off, I remember that we need to link whatever we're doing here. We need to link it to either a table or a query in this case. We need to link it to wherever we're going to be getting the data that we're going to be showing. And so in this case, I'm going to go over here, click with the right mouse button. I'm going to go to properties and I'm going to go to data. And here in data, I'm going to select the record source. And notice one thing. I've got the tables here. I've got the tables. Yep, the 5 tables: department, dependent, employee, project, and employee, project, and project. But notice that I also have the select queries. So I can generate a report out of a table, or I can also generate a report out of a query, a select query. Actually, something that's very practical is that we can do a select query to extract information with a certain criteria and then just present the extracted information that's based on a criteria. So we can do it either way. Right now, I'm going to select the employee table. See, I did it. I did that again because of my allergies. Sorry for whoever didn't like that comment. And if that person considers that's repulsive, then don't watch my videos. I'm not forcing anybody to. I'm going to get in trouble on the internet. Okay, so I'm going to select employee as the source. Okay, and once I select the source, I go over here, again, very similar to the form. I go over here and say, I'm going to do something before I do this. I'm going to save the report. Remember that we haven't put a name to the report. The name for this report, I'm going to call it employee. I'm going to call it employee. Carmina has her hand raised. I'm going to go there in a moment. Employee. What do we want from the employees? We're going to do the employee report. Just the list of employees, and I'm going to click save. Carmina, please go ahead.
Professor, I got a question.
Yes.
In the form, we put in the properties default. No, do we have to do this on the report or not?
Oh no, in the form, we did a couple of things that were placed in default. The form had a thing that if we wanted to input information and the defaults and all that, and If you remember, we modified those properties. It's not necessary here in the report. We're just showing information. The problem in the form where we had to change those properties is because in the form, by default, it was grabbing the first record. And since we were one to modify or update, we were generating a problem because it seemed that we were modifying something that was already there. So here we don't need to modify any of those properties unless we want to do something very specific. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So now we've got so now what we're going to do, I'm going to go here to add existing fields. And for this report that I want to generate, I don't want all of the fields. I just want the employee social security number. I want the name. I want the salary, and I want the department. That's the only thing I want to show. I'm going to drag them over here, and they appear like that. That's what appears here, similar to the form. I'm going to run the report. Or not run the report. I'm going to show how the report looks when I do this. The only thing I've done is added what I want to show. So I'm going to go to the report view. Notice what happens. Oh, by the way, I'm going to go back here, or I'm going to open the employee table. How many employees do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 employees. And so notice what happens. I put that information there, but if I scroll down, I've got the rest of the employees, right? So it's giving me a report of the employees I have, showing me that information. But I think you'll probably agree that this way of presenting the information is really not, it's really practical. It's even kind of ugly. Okay, so this isn't a very good way to present the information. So let's do some modifications here. So, and notice another thing, there's all this blank space here that's really not very useful. So let's go back to the design view. So I'm going to do some modifications here. First off, I'm going to eliminate these tags here, these names. I'm going to eliminate those. And I'm going to I'm going to put some order here. I'm going to make this a little bit larger. I'm going to mention what that is in a moment. I'm going to bring this employee social security number. I'm going to bring it over here. Then I'm going to grab the name and I'm going to bring it over here, but I'm going to make it larger just because I want the whole name to appear. Some people might have long names. Then I'm going to grab the salary, put it here. I'm going to make this bigger, and then I'm going to bring the department ID here. Another thing that I'm going to, and let's run it like that to see what happens. Now I've got, again, all of the records here, but still I've got a lot of blank space. It doesn't look very well. Very good. So notice that I've got a few things here. The report is divided into 3 sections. It's the header. The header is information that's going to appear on top. That's going to be fixed. And here on the bottom, it's the footer. That's going to be information that's going to appear on the bottom. That's also going to be fixed. So first off, there's this whole blank space here that I really don't want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up. I'm going to move this up and leave it here. And then let's run it to see what happens now. So now it's different. Now I've got them. Now I've got a report where the information looks a little bit better. I'm going to go back here to the design view. And what I'm going to do here in the header, I'm going to add, I'm going to add a label, which is basically a static text. And I'm going to call this, I'm going to say SOSA Corp employees. Okay. And I can modify, I can modify the text. I want it to be bold. I want it to be black. I'm going to make, oops, nope, not the background. I want the text to be black. I want it to be centered here. I want it to be a little bit larger, so it's going to be a 20. And here on the bottom in the footer, I'm also going to add some text. I'm going to say here that it's going to be our phrase is we do stuff to make you happy. That's going to be the logo. That's going to be the phrase that we're going to be using. I want this one to be in italics. I want to be this one to be in italics. I'm gonna want it to also be bold. I'm gonna leave it gray. Okay. Say. Okay. So now we put this here. I can add other stuff if I want. I don't know. Insert image. I got the Jets here by default. Remember that we added it in the last one. I'm just gonna say ugh. I'm not a fan of the Jets. I'm not a fan of the Jets. My best friend, my BFF for life. That I know he's my best friend. Best friend always got about. I can count my best friends in the palm of my hands, and my best friend is a fan of the Jets. We've been to Jets and Chargers games. We've been to the play. We were at the playoff game with Jets and the Chargers with it. Yeah, I think the Jets won that one. Or the Chargers, I don't remember. We've been to a bunch of games. He's a super Jets fan. One of my best friends, but I'm not. So I'm going to just add that there. And so now let's see what happens when we run it or when we see the report view. Now the report looks like this. So you see that the report can have a certain format. Okay. We can even look at the print view. Okay. This is what the report would look like if we print it out. Okay. And so here we're presenting information from the database. We can do some conditional formatting. Remember what the conditional formatting was? Let's add something else here. So let's just mention what these things are. So I'm going to click over here and I'm going to say that this is the social security number. I'm going to put this in the header. While I do this, yes, Estrella, please go ahead.
Yes, we're going to be doing a report for each table.
Oh, that's a good question. No, Estrella. Basically, you're going to be doing reports. The purpose of a report, Estrella, is to present information that's useful. Okay, so it's not that you're going to be doing reports for each table. For example, in the lab exercise, exercise 4, I don't remember exactly, but for the Hilltop Animal Hospital, it's going to ask you to do a report for, I don't know, all of the pets that are cats or dogs or whatever. So it's going to show certain information. And for your project, Estrella, you're going to define what reports are going to make sense. So for example, you guys have the fire services company. Mm-hmm. So maybe you're going to say, I want a report of all of the clients that I have. You're going to show that. Maybe you're going to say, I want a report of all of the projects that a certain employee is working on. Okay. So you're going to define what you want to report. Okay.
Okay. What report you want to do, like the main things, the main important things.
Yeah. So for the lab exercises, the Hilltop Animal Hospital, the lab exercise says what reports should be generated. For your application project, you're going to define which reports make sense. Okay. I'm just doing this example for the employee table just to show kind of how the tools we have to do the report. Okay. But you're going to basically define which ones are going to make sense. according to the information you want to present. So Estrella, the logic is the following. Imagine that you're the CEO of the company and you want information. So in the case of the project that you guys are working on, the company wants certain information. I don't know, I want all of the projects that we're doing in the month of May. And I want to know who's involved in each of the projects. Okay, for example.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, for example, in the tour project, the ones that the tour company project that the Team Spice Girls is doing. Well, I did it again, I snorted. You might want to say, okay, how many I need a report of all of the tours. I need a report of all of the car rentals. I need to know what tours this driver is assigned to. Okay, so notice one thing, and I'm going to mention it in a moment. Remember that we're going to do a report right now of a query. So you can first do a query to extract information and then report that. Okay, and we're going to do that in a moment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Estrella. And so basically what we're doing here is that we're doing some formatting here. I just want to show you some of the tools we have. So I'm just giving it some formatting here to make it look prettier. Again, I'm not going to be focused that much on that right now. I'm just trying to show you the tools you have. Remember that I want you guys to be creative as to how you're going to present the information. So that's the salary. What I'm doing here is that I'm placing these tags, I'm placing them in the header. Notice that whatever I put in the header stays fixed. Whatever I put in the header stays fixed. This here, and let's bring this over here, and I'm going to bring this over here. So notice what happens when I do that. Now I've got a report that shows me this information. Okay. So again, you're gonna, for the lab exercises, for the Hilltop Animal Hospital, it's asking you to do, I think, 2 or 3 reports. For the lab exercise, the part that has to do with your application project, I think it says define at least 2 or 3 reports that you're going to be presenting. Okay. And again, it has to be things that make sense. Okay. So for example, here we've got the information of the social security number, the name, the salary. Remember that we can do conditional formatting. So for example, let's say that I'm going to grab salary here, just to do an example. I'm going to grab salary and I'm going to go here to format. And here it says conditional formatting. We've done that for, I think we've done that for the forms. And I'm going to add a new rule here. And with regards to conditional formatting, some things are similar to what we do in Excel or other software. So I'm going to say that I want to do a conditional formatting on the salary. I want to mark in that report the employees that have the highest salary. So I'm going to go to, a new rule. The value is equal to, and I'm going to use a function. Now, I'm just going to use a function here just to make an example that we can use functions here, similar to how we use them in Excel. I'm going to use a function that's called dmax, that's basically going to give me the maximum value of what field? Employee salary from table employee. So basically the way this function works is that I give it the field and I tell it from where I'm getting it. We can go to the help and find the different functions that I can use. I can even go here, and here are the different functions that can be used. I'm just using this one as an example. So for the maximum employee, what I want to do is that I just want to mark that one in blue. Okay, just to give an example, blue and bold. Okay, I'm going to give that conditional formatting. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click apply. So now when I run the report, apparently Andrea is the one that has the highest salary, but for some reason it's appearing here in hashtags. Let me see why that is. I'm gonna make the salary a little bit bigger. I'm not sure if it's because it's not being, it doesn't have enough space to show the salary. Yeah, there it is. Andrea, you make, it doesn't say if this is a monthly or a yearly salary, Andrea, but you make $20 million. You're the most important employee here. Or I don't know if it's the most important, but you're the one who makes the most money, Andrea. Andrea makes $20 million. I don't know if it's $20 million a month or a year, but
Month.
a month. Good job. Good job, Andrea. This is going to happen, by the way. I don't know if it's $20 million, but this is going to happen. You're going to be, all of you are going to be, are going to be very successful. I'm not going to say wealthy. Success is not related to money, but you're going to be very successful. I know. And you're from Department 20, and you're the highest salary. Now let's see. I'm going to go back to the design view. I want to add another rule here, another format here for the conditional formatting. I'm going to add another one. Similar value is equal to, but now I'm going to use the dmin function, which is exactly the same, but we're finding the minimum value. And I want this one to be marked in orange. Orange and also bold. Oh, I didn't close the parenthesis. Okay, and apply. So now let's go back here and run it. Oh, darn, I'm the one who makes the less. I'm the one who makes the less. So I make 20, how much? Help me with the math. I make 200 times, is that correct? 200 times less, or Andrea makes 200 times more money than I do. But we're both successful. So it doesn't matter how much money I make. I'm happy and successful. That's the important thing. So notice how we're generating the report. And again, we can print this. We could generate a PDF. By the way, I'm just going to mention this because, again, these are things I'd like you guys to research. But there is a way here in which we can create a PDF of this. We can export it to PDF. We could actually add a button here. We're going to talk a little bit about those kind of next week. We're going to take a couple of the sessions where we're going to have a little bit of fun with what we've already done to show some additional things that we can do. So we can create a PDF, for example. We could add a button here to say, I want to print this report. Okay. We can do whatever we want with it. Okay. Questions up to this point. Right now, we've only generated the employee report. We're gonna do another one. I'm gonna close this.
No questions.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm going to close this. I'm going to generate another report. Generate another report. Create a blank report. But now I'm going to do this report. I'm not going to do the report from a table. I'm going to do the report from a query. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to properties. I'm going to select here, and I'm going to use, I already have some queries, remember? I'm going to select the employee manager query. Remember that we've done a query that only extracts the managers. Okay, so I'm going to use that query. Okay. So now I'm going to go here to design and add existing fields. Remember that for the employee manager query, basically the query was looking at the employee table, and only extracting the employees that were managers, and we only looked at this information here. So again, I'm going to grab all of the information here. Let me do this one. I didn't need this one. We left the employee social. We left the employee supervisor social security number. We really didn't need that one. I'm going to bring that over here. I'm going to eliminate the tags, and I'm going to generate I think I can do some copy pasting here actually. You have to be careful when you do copy paste stuff in these things, but I'm gonna see if I can do it. Yeah, I can do copy paste. That's wonderful. I'm actually doing. The only thing I'm doing is I'm going to the other report I did, so I don't have to do some things again, and I'm just gonna copy paste some things. Why? Because I'm lazy. I'm gonna copy paste these here just so I don't have to repeat some of this information. And so I've got the social security number. Notice also that right now I'm doing a very plain form with a very plain format, but remember that you can really do you can organize this information however you want, right? Remember when we saw the invoices? So for example, to most of the teams, for example, yeah, so Spice Girls, Abracadabra, Pirates also. Let's see. Yeah, at least for those 3 teams that you're working with companies that are generating services that have costs, a report that you can generate is the invoice. So remember when we saw the invoices, where the invoice had, this is what you bought, this is your client number, this is how much it costs, and this is everything. A report can be an invoice, or I'm sorry, an invoice can be a report. And you can organize it however you want. So you can first do a query where you extract a specific customer, and you extract just that information, and then you generate a report, and that report is structured like an invoice. We can do that. We're gonna do some of those examples next week. Right now, I'm giving you enough so you can. Well, I'm not going to show the employee manager yes no because I already know that these are managers, so I don't need to really show that. I'm just going to show the start date. Okay, I'm going to show the start date here. Okay. This isn't really very aligned. Again, I'm not really focusing on making it pretty. I'm just trying to make it functional. I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to move this so we don't have so much blank space. And over here on the bottom, I'm going to copy paste from this one. I'm going to copy paste this. So you can actually have a template for the reports if you want. I'm going to save that. Remember to save. I'm going to call this employee manager yes no query report. And basically, again, what I'm doing is that first I did a query to extract information, and that query I'm going to be presenting. I'm going to be showing. Okay, let me save. Go to the report view, and now I've got only the managers and their start date. Only the managers and their start date. For example, let's say that I wanted to know what managers began or have been managing for more than a year or more than or less than a certain date. I could first do a query where I extract all of the managers and the dates range. And once I do that, then I can create a report. So usually the logic is going back to Estrella's question that you asked, that should we do a report for each table? Well, actually what makes sense is that first you're going to think about what information you want, okay? After you define what information you want to present, you do a query to get that information, and then you generate a report based on that query, okay? That's more of the logic that we're going to follow. And we can do some conditional formatting here if we want. We can change the background. We can do whatever we want with this, okay? Go back over here to the design view. Again, I'm going to leave that sort of formatting part up to you guys, okay? So this kind of rounds out the report lab exercise, which kind of gives us the base, the fundamentals to be able to do or generate reports. This example is going to be uploaded to Blackboard along with the video, and the example is going to be SOSA Corp version 4. Remember, there's the database for each of the lab exercises we've done.